Hey everyone, just Goran here, and a new DLC has been announced, which means a new set of real-life inspiration videos is coming your way. Sorry if I sound a bit odd, I'm a bit sick, but luckily these videos are pretty short, so I should be able to get them out for you still. Anyway, without any further ado, you all voted on which teased animal from yesterday you wanted to see first, and the Takin came out on top, so let's have a look at a bunch of different Takin exhibits. And we are starting off strong over here at Pairi Daiza, where we can see the Takin enclosure behind the fence over there from this snow leopard enclosure. But as we leave, we can see that the road towards the Takin exhibit is blocked. So we actually have to go all the way around a bunch of other exhibits and past the giant panda enclosures is where we finally encounter the Takin enclosure over here. And now that's what I'm talking about. I've been a really big fan of making Takin puns ever since they were announced. But yeah, this enclosure is super awesome. I love the way that we're looking up at this slope. It's got a very mountainous vibe, lots of rocks, very simple backdrop with the sky. It could be slightly improved by hiding that fence in the back just a little bit better. On the left, that's done a lot better than on the right. But yeah, overall, there's very little to complain about here. It's just a very solid enclosure, and the lovely addition of the waterfall is also very nice. And then over there we can see that path that we couldn't get through, which gave past me no reason to go further into this area. So that's it for Pairi Daiza, and we're moving on to the next zoo, which is going to be Wuppertal. And at the zoo of Wuppertal, we can see they're building a brand new Takin enclosure, or actually they're expanding their current Takin enclosure over here, making it a lot bigger, and definitely one of the nicest Takin enclosures on this list. We can see that being in a more forested area, it's definitely a lot more lush. Of course, this is recorded during the winter, so we don't see much of that lushness, but I can imagine it's a lot more lush. I'm not sure how far along the construction of this is at the moment. When I went to the zoo's website and looked at the map, it's still set under construction, but I mean, this was recorded almost a year ago already, so you'd think that they'd be a lot further along by this point. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like. And over here, this is the old enclosure, which was currently still in use, and they had quite a fair bunch of Takin in here, and yeah, we can see actually very similar elements to what we saw at Pairi Daiza with all of the rocks and this quite simplistic fence, to be honest. But yeah, also over here we're kind of like looking up against the hill, which is just such a cool effect for these mountainous animals to really admire them in kind of their natural habitat of the hilly hills and mountains in a way. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of that. I really would love to do something like that in Planet Zoo at some point, foreshadowing, I don't know. But anyway, over here we are at Parc de Bouillon, and at Bouillon we have kind of the opposite, right? Like, we have a very bland enclosure, first of all, which is not necessarily bad, but we've got this cool hill, but we're looking from the top down, which is a very different perspective to what we just saw in the other two zoos. Of course, Wuppertal have a little bit with their new expansion. But yeah, this is just a lot less interesting of a way to view these animals, in my opinion. Bouillon definitely has a bit of an unfortunate layout in terms of the entrance being on top of this hill. So it's really difficult to kind of get the path to go along the bottom of it, I suppose. I wonder what could be done to improve that. Because yeah, there's a lot of exhibits like this in Bouillon. And it's a bit of a bummer, to be honest. But yeah, that's it for Bouillon. So let's move on to the next zoo, which is going to be the final one for this video. And it's the zoo of Antwerp. And you might be saying, that's not a Takin. That's a Markhor. And that's because it is. This used to be a Takin enclosure. But earlier this year it was under construction. And now there's Markhor in here. But I still thought it was a really cool enclosure to include because it just looks very cool. This waterfall, by the way, is new. That's from the reconstruction. As far as I could tell, that wasn't there before. This is really awesome. It's like an educational display on like mountains and the different levels of a mountain and like the different layers. It's very cool. And then here's another view into the enclosure. So I really love the rockwork. I love the trees on top of the rockwork, really giving that perspective and making it seem mountains. But yeah, that's it for this video, so I hope you guys are excited for the DLC. I'm dying. Even a short video like this was way too much for me. Oh god, I'm so sick. I've gotta go to bed. Bye bye.